Talk to anyone here in the Lion City and everyone has their favourite and everyone has one standout that they think is the best.
We're of course talking about food, and in this video we're going through our favourite dishes in Singapore.
Now notice we didn't say Singaporean dishes because I think every dish here in Singapore, you can't really say it's Singaporean, Malaysian or Indonesian because it takes its influences from all across Asia.
Yeah, it's such a melting pot of cuisines and cultures, which is why we really love it.
Now this actual video idea came from a suggestion on our community page, so if you've got any ideas of future videos that we can do on this channel, then please pop the comment there.
But before we get into it, please give this video a thumbs up, a like, and also subscribe to our channel if you haven't already.
So we're going to start our list like how you'd start your day, with breakfast.
So our first dish on our breakfast list is kaya toast and soft-boiled eggs. Now, even though we did live in Malaysia, I never really had it so much back there. And when we first moved to Singapore, toast box was everywhere. And it was really, I was like wondering, why are these people all queuing up for toast box? Now I understand why, because kaya toast and soft-boiled eggs is one of their specialities. And it has become one of my favorite all-time breakfast dishes here in Singapore.
Next on the list is chi kueh, which is a steamed rice cake with preserved radish and like this chili sauce, and it looks like a really ordinary dish. The rice cake doesn't really have a flavour, but it's the toppings, it's the radish and it's the chili that really brings this alive. And I remember the first time I had it, it was in a hawker centre in Bishan. It was after work with one of my colleagues and he was like, try this. And I have to say, it was hard to eat because they give you like these cocktail sticks to eat it with, but it is a perfect breakfast dish.
Yeah, and you've even converted me to it, which is really great. Now, we can't talk about breakfast dishes without talking about nasi lemak. It is the ultimate breakfast here in Asia. I think the first time I ever had it was in Malaysia, growing up when I used to visit family over there. And it's become a staple. Every week we have nasi lemak, and you've grown to love it even more.
Yeah. But I think like it can be a contentious dish because there are many ways of doing it. This list is our favourite dishes that we've had in Singapore, but I would say the archetypal nasi lemak you have had, the one that you would prefer, maybe would not be from here.
You're just trying to start beef, aren't you?
No.
We're opening this beef again.
But there is culture wars of food. There is certain ways, like even in Singapore, like you would get something from the east and people are like, no, that's not the best. Try it from the centre or try it from the west. And then you expand that, you have the Malaysian way, you have the Singaporean way.
Well, yeah, I guess there is that argument between Malaysian nasi lemak and Singaporean nasi lemak. It's not the first time we've had this discussion on our channel, and I would just say yes. Having had it in Malaysia more, I prefer the Malaysian version. I'd say you're a little bit different. You prefer the Singaporean version of nasi lemak, but you know, each to their own.
Now you can't go from breakfast throughout the rest of the day without a snack. Now first up on our snack list is popiah, and this is like a pancake. It's filled with vegetables, it's filled with chili, it's filled with like crunchy pork. It's just like a really nice small wrap that they cut in small pieces, you have with chili, and it's just like perfection.
Yeah, and you never really tried it until we moved to Singapore, although I don't think there's too much of a distinction between Malaysian and Singaporean popiah, maybe obviously not so much with pork, but it is one of the great snacks that we often enjoy here. So next on our snack list is curry puff, better known as curry puff. And the really interesting thing about curry puffs, I think most countries, or there are many different versions of curry puffs around the world. So in the UK we have the Cornish pasty, which is baked, not fried. And I think even in Jamaica they call them patties. In Latin America they're empanadas. So it's a real like nice Asian flavour with the curry and potato. You can have it with meat, and a real delicious snack that we often indulge in.
Yeah, and here in Singapore, Old Chang Kee does so many different variations. Like I remember when they did the nasi lemak curry puff, and it was so good.
And speaking of Old Chang Kee, they actually opened up in London and the queues were phenomenal. So you know their curry puffs are worth it when people are queuing around the block. Now this is something I'm normally thinking about at breakfast. It's dinner.
So this is something that I would have any time of the day, not just for dinner. It's chicken rice. And ostensibly, it is such a simple dish. It's literally chicken, rice. You'll have your condiments. You'll have your dark, sweet soy sauce, and you'll have your chili. You'll have like a cucumber on the side. But what it lacks in general appearance, it makes up for in taste.
Again, not something I would just limit to dinner, is char kway teow. My favourite ever char kway teow dish was in Batu Ferringhi in Penang. The wok hei flavour was fantastic. I'm always on the lookout for great Singaporean char kway teow, so if you do know of any places, hit us up in the comments.
Now next up is a dish that I fell in love with when we lived in London. I first had it at a restaurant called Singapore Gardens, and it was an oyster omelette. It's what looks like another thing that's really simple. It's an omelette, you put spring onions in and you put the oysters in, but the oysters add such a depth of flavour. That is why it has made our list.
So it's been almost 2 years since I've been able to have my mum's home cooking, but one thing that is really a comfort food for me is nasi biryani with the spice hit and also different meats, so you can have your mutton, chicken, even vegetables. It's such a comfort food for me that is easily available here in Singapore, and they just do it really well.
Yeah, and I think like if you are looking for a good biryani, obviously Little India is the place to go. Anywhere that you go in Little India, just get a mutton biryani and it is chef's kiss.
Shock.
Yeah. Now we've made it to the best part of the meal for me, and that is dessert.
Number one on our list is chendol, and I have quite a love-hate relationship with chendol, only because when I was very young and I ate it and we went on a long car journey. Suffice to say, my auntie's car was never quite the same after that trip, but now that I'm an adult, I've kind of learnt to enjoy the flavours again, because I think it was something that put me off for quite a long time, but I have to say chendol is so refreshing in the heat. The coconut, the pandan, it's a really interesting combination which I adore. Second on our list is something that you've not tried, which is pulut hitam, which I actually discovered here in Singapore. It is a black rice pudding, it's hot, and it has a really lovely pouring of coconut milk on top. So it's kind of starchy but sweet and very luxurious feel, and I cannot get enough of it.
So that was our list of our favourite dishes that you can find here in Singapore. And of course, there will be glaring omissions. There'll be stuff on our list that may not be on your list, and there'll be stuff on your list that won't be on ours. So please comment below for your suggestions of your favourite dishes, and more importantly for us, because we want to eat these dishes, tell us where you can find them here in Singapore.
And if you haven't already, please give this video a big thumbs up. It just helps others find us, and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll catch you on the next one. But first, over to the bloopers. Now! And I cannot speak to Rhianne. Okay.
Now, seeing as we live in Asia, we can't go throughout the day.
It's just the way you mashed it.
What?
I'm literally crying. It's just like, can't go to Malaysia. It was like, I don't know why I'm laughing anymore.
I don't. It's even funny.
I think I gotta go.
Should I turn it off?
Yeah. Start again, sorry.
Blah, blah, blah.
Blah, 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 blah.